Welcome everyone, this is Michihoya. We are live for a setup guide. Yes, a setup guide, indeed. The Porsche 911 Cup car may not be the most intense car to set up because of its limited possibilities, but you still need to get the little possibilities right in order to really perform well on track. And yeah, first we're gonna have a look at the setup options. We're gonna put up the standard car default setup, which is 50 liters on the fuel tank, rear wing 5, preload 85, this kind of wheel range, no red tape, suspension you can only set right height and anti-roll bars as much as toe in, toe out. Chassis, nothing adjustable anyway. And then the standard tire stuff that you can put out. And you know what? First, we're going to have a look at the track and at its state. And therefore, going to leave pit road. So yeah, the endless long 60 kph pit road. By the way, a big massive thank you to Mr. Coffellini for designing that beauty in the number 21. That's the car we're going to drive this upcoming Friday on the show, on the sprint race towards this upcoming 3-hour invitational event on rFactor 2. And yeah, for now we're just taking out the car on a static track, trying to get used to everything, trying to see how the car feels, how it performs. And you know what? Stupid Midgie has forgot something to turn on. Yes, no fuel usage, no tire wear, because I was trying some stuff for the upcoming Attack the Track on Spa. So before you guys ask, I want to go out on the track in the Formula 1 car, put a high downforce setup, put a low downforce setup, and eliminate all the variables like tire wear, temperature, not temperature, but tire temperature, tire usage, fuel usage, whatsoever. You know, I just want to keep things steady so that you guys will be able to see the different setups philosophy impacting lap time for sector 1 and sector 2 and sector 3 and all together, and what's the pros and cons, stuff like that. So hence why tire wear and fuel has been eliminated or has been turned off. Anyway, coming back to the track at Spa here. David, thank you so much for joining. And again, I just want to take out the car first, see how it feels, see how it does enjoy the track, or not enjoy. First I'm gonna, oops. Right, we're good to go. And then we dig deeper into the setup possibilities once we're done with 1 or 2 installation laps, maybe even 3. See how the car feels, see how the car performs on the track. Going up Camel Straight. Reaching 265. Broke way too late, so I was just gonna skip the chicken. So 265 is probably the target top speed here. As usual, Porsche 911 Cup car, pretty lazy on the front end. Need to work with a lot of rotation into the turn. But yes, exactly, you don't want this car to spin around like mad. And still want it to turn. So, you need to somehow make this overall car grip. Especially you need to make the front end follow your inputs. And you need to make the rear end following the front end pretty much as well. Sounds logical, I do know, but it's a bit more difficult than it just sounds. So also track limits are a huge factor here. Anyway, since we are at Spa, and this probably goes a little into the attack the track already, as you need to decide on a philosophy here at Spa Francorchamps. There's two possible ways. The first one is low downforce, low drag, high top speed, be super quick in sector 1 and sector 3, but lose a shit ton of time in sector 2. However, the other way around is of course the high downforce, high drag level, be good in sector 2, but lack pace here sector 1 and sector 3, and effectively being attackable at the end here of Camel Straight or on the long run up towards the bus stop chicane. Those are the things you need to bear in mind when building a setup here. If in doubt, you may want to lose a potential 10th of speed over a lap, but trying to be safe or being able to attack other people into the key area zones, which is after Camel Straight and the bus stop chicane. All that stuff is needs to be tested. Like, you know, if there's cars like I don't know what does give you some low slipstream. Probably no car on rFactor 2 gives you low slipstream. Let's say a touring car. Touring cars are not that dependent or not that effective on giving slipstream to each other. It may not be that big of a deal if you're losing yourself some performance on the straight, but if you are able to somehow set up the car with a high downforce level, being more effective in the corners than losing time on the straight, which can happen with a cup car, and this may be the way to go. Anyway, I'm going to put another lap in after this, trying to even more improve the lines. Remember, a 2:23 was our target, or was our time we did in the hot lap qualifier. On a fixed setup that drove way worse than this one. Not saying that this is driving perfectly, of course, but still we're missing out on 2:23 here.
That was a 2:25.12.
Eau Rouge is a lot more easy though. And I cut it a lot though. Anyway, I'm not here about checking the potential lap time or the top lap time that we can do. Again, we're looking at 270 probably to reach on the way up to Camel. and see what we're still missing here in the corners. It's a bit overdone. So despite the car lacks quite a bit of rear end stability, I'm gonna do a few things. First, we're gonna put the rear wing from 5 to 1 because I want to try and go for this massive low downforce setup and see if the car's handleable with rear wing 1, because it could be vital for us. I'm just gonna stop it here. So 224.5, let's say, is possible with this car. So first I'm gonna put the rear wing to 1. I'm gonna put up a tape a little bit. And you know what? I put minimum pressures, of course. Forgot that. Bad Mitchie. Minimum pressures is a key factor on rFactor 2. Hey there, Kevin. How you doing? Is the training going well? Well, I've basically just started, but I just now put rear wing 1, minimum of tire pressures, and then we're gonna see what the benefit is, if there's any benefit. Maybe we're gonna crash in a rouge, who knows? Mr. Coffelino, by the way, thanks for the mug. So, a rouge. I wouldn't say that we crashed there, but let's see what rear wing 1 changes on our top speed. Which will be huge, that's for sure. If we get a rouge in the right way, this should be a big factor. Also, it should be a big factor with the car turning, because less rear wing also means less rear instability, and therefore more turning momentum, which also means if we're going to be sideways, we have probably a little bit more trouble. There you go. Hello, Vasilios. But overall, of course, especially in the high-speed corners, I hope for a little bit more of turning momentum of the car. Yet you already see you have to be a little bit more alert on the brakes. Car likes to step out a little bit more. We can fix this though with a little bit of differential setting. There's lots of stuff that can still be attacked on this one. But you see it exit here into the long straight is lots easier, which is mainly down to the low tire pressures granting more grip, but also to the low rear wing, making the car less stable in the rear, therefore giving more car rotation. I see Formula E1. You look forward to the race? So just let's have a look all together what the lower rear wing gets us, which is probably slightly enhanced straight line speed. So yes, I agree, the exit has been a bit better than before, but the rear wing's gonna deal the damage. Oi. Yeah. Too bad, not here. Just doing mistakes, but you see, we reached 270 before the braking point, and we just do that right again, despite all mistake. Last time in the chicane we took out 5/10, now it's 6. So in general there is a little bit more potential in the car. No name corner, lots more grip. That is all mainly to lower tire pressures, but I'm trying to tell and find a difference in the rear wing. Hey there Sven, how are you? And I think you can see that towards the sprint up to Blanchimont, what is the real difference in performance now. I mean, we already have a better exit into this straight, but you see that the time is still rising and rising and rising. Also Blanchimont, we do not use as much track and yet go loads quicker, even so quick that now track limits are an issue. That just shows you how bad the setup was in the qualifier event, which probably was the default set. So we just go for another lap because now we do need that reference for sure. It's not that much of a drift car anymore, Altamont. So let's get a Rouge a bit better. I effed it up again to a certain extent. But now you see 90, 92, 93, 94, 56. That is all due to the rear wing. It's 200th, 300th, up to 400th of a difference here in on the track, just on the Camel Straight alone. And you can count up to a 100th or 200th of a second per straight, depending on its length. Like if you go up towards Blanchimont, probably a bit more. So that is quite a huge difference already there with rear wing 1, so we gladly take this. Speaking about the tire pressures, if you feel like there is too much of turning or too much of rear end instability going on, you can rise the front tire pressures a little bit to get it more a little bit more balance overall there. Will be just fine. Anyway, we keep this for the moment. I'm gonna put forward the brake bias a bit, because despite the car needs trail braking and on-brake rotation, there is just not enough stability on initial turn-in with this brake bias, so I just put it a little bit more forward, giving us a little bit more stability on the braking. Yet though, it decreases a little bit of the momentum of the rotation that has been given due to the trail braking. Brian for Live for just a question: are there a lot of multiplayer servers? I don't know actually. I haven't looked it up right now, but I think there should be a few that are free to enter without any password whatsoever. So if you just want to enjoy rFactor 2 online, you may want to have a look at this. Beyond that, the preload. The preload is the amount of load the clutches in the differential are being previously loaded up. That means the more preload there is, the more locking the differential is, which should again give us more stability into the turn-in, therefore applying this setting. And then I think it's time to go out. If I look at all the times we just did in the other 2 laps, we should be able to put in a 22.6 or something. Just need to get a good lap in there. And with a good lap I do mean not running white or rouge, not running white at Blanchimont, because this time you can get easy cuts there. And that is probably also an issue of the low rear wing, the car coming over the hill, not having quite enough downforce on the rear end to keep the car attached to the ground. We're just gonna see how we deal with that. JT, thank you very much for the good luck wishes in the dirty air. That is indeed a thing. That needs to be reconsidered. Sadly, I cannot test dirty air right now, right here, since I'm lumber alone, but I'm hopefully being able to do that in practice. And you know, the only real thing to overcome dirty air is either reducing the front aero balance, or the aero balance in general, put that more towards the rear, which can be done by rake, by wing, or somehow elsewise make the rear end stick. That really is just not possible when going over the hill or without without downforce. I mean, you know, if you lose the rear end due to lacking downforce, then there's only aero that can fix this problem, really. No, the Altamont, the Porsche Cup car, only has the preload setting. It again was too wide. Need to probably brake a little for Blanchimont. Anyway, let's first of all get a good lap in. Also, you can see that the stiffened preload helps on the exits out of La Source. Yeah, that dirty air is so painful. So we were even losing time on the initial exit out of Radillon, but now you see we're climbing on the delta timer and we reach 272 on the braking point. Lexar RL, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate your time. So down here, Pouhon, you really need the rotation, almost sending the car into a spin. But you see on the exit how beneficial that is to the lap time. And this time we've just overdone it. So still not enough rear end stability. And in order to have a little bit more of a look of what is going on, you have heard the beeps, so just doing exactly that. Porsche Cup car, last iteration setups. I'm heavily interested in seeing what is going on there. And now, yeah, damn it. Please work. Yes, you do. Thank you. So here we are. We haven't done much running. Transmission is obviously wrong, but we want to have a look at the suspension. So here you see velocities of the dampers. That is irrelevant because you can't really adjust them anyway. Sadly, the encrypted files do not give us any information about the ride height, so that's not been logged. The yaw rate is about the acceleration of sideways. Let me see if I can. There you go, right height signal. So as you can see, those are front, left, rear. So the tops, that is front, that is rear. We got quite a bit of rake, yet though we just don't bottom out. Means there is still lots of possible load to gain by reducing the right heights, and we're gonna do that hashtag soon, because first I deliberately want to get a lap in. Therefore, I just let the AI do the out lap, so things go a bit quicker. And then gonna do the next flying lap myself, because I'm now I really need the reference. Hey there, Matthias Jensen. Yep, I bought this quite a while ago, because right now my Akira GP is for repairs. Hey Christoph, note for the time being, I prefer the old one, because it's a little bit more clear in where things are and when I want to explain stuff, so I want to use the things I'm used to. Damn it, effed up the exit a bit. I'm on an OSW. Altamont, the same issues than before, just now finally them getting fixed. Yay! Finally a better exit out of Eau Rouge and Rodillon. A lot more safe. And this time I'm pretty sure I can also nail the combs. The big thing in this car is you're just not allowed to be heavily on the brake while trying to enter a turn. Then you'll be fine. That was a bit wide. So I needed to do 2 laps to get the real reference. Needs to be said that the tyres are very cold after the AI driving the first lap, because I think tyre temperature not being emulated in that lap. But you already can guess and spot the difference on the delta timer still. So now this is interesting. We're coming out identical into the last sector, but now the low wing's gonna build us a gap of roughly 2/200th of a second with a better exit out of Blanchimont. Car is so nervous on the rear end. So let's see what the other lap is bringing. This is indeed a 22.8.
That was a 22.88.
Not overshooting the first turn definitely helps. Let's see what we can do about Rouge. Sticking it up to the inside curve beautifully over Rodillon and gaining even more straight line speed than before. .273 now on the braking. Should stay in third here because higher RPM help on rotation when being off throttle, as more engine brake applies to the drivetrain. Not entirely perfect, but okay, we gained a little time there. And you really need this in this car. Good engine braking, so high RPM, high resistance in the drivetrain, more engine braking due to higher RPM helps turning around the car just that little bit. So, looks like we can do a 21. If we nail the rest together. And we just don't. That is a cut track 100. Oh, it's not. Oh, that's just going to be a grind there with the cut tracks. But I want to have a lot more smooth butt stop, and that is a good exit into the 21s. So 21 points.
The lap was a 2:21.82.
So what we're going to do now is we're trying to improve the overall aero and the overall downforce level by reducing the front right height. Okay, we don't reduce the front right height. Can we even reduce? No, the rear right height not as well. So the only thing that we can do is we can raise the rear end to, let's say, 9 centimeters. What's going to happen is I'm going to show you that on my Lego Porsche. Get rid of that overlay for this. Because, okay, I can do this straight away. Because thanks to the new position of this camera, feedback is greatly appreciated, by the way. I now have the possibility to show this a little bit more, well, in the bigger picture. I'm going to show it like exactly this. This is, let's say, how the car is pointing on 7.2 front and 8.2 rear right height. Now, I over-exaggerate this a lot, but the car with still the front at 7.2, but the rear at 9.0 or even higher points this towards the track now, or towards the oncoming airflow. So now the air flowing over the body causing more drag, but also causing more downforce because, you know, in this way, with the car being pushed forward, all the aero that comes from the front just pushing the car down, giving you an additional downforce level on the straights, at least in theory. This may, of course, cause other issues like having issues with rear stability or just causing you drag while not, you know, given the biggest amount of advantage in the turns. And we're going to find out about that because now with 9 centimeters rear right height, the car should be a lot more aggressive in the turns. Thank you very much, only Formula 1, and good luck to you in the 1968 Formula 1 race it was. Anyway, best of luck for you, buddy. So, I expect the car to be a little bit of an issue here into Eau Rouge and over Radillon. Probably not in the outlap, but later on. And then, you know, with more rake, there should not be as high as the top speed anymore. But maybe we have an improved cornering speed due to more downforce in the cornering sections. Also, remember with getting the rear end up, you also shift the weight a little bit more towards the front, which you want to have on this car because you want to make the front turn, and front needs downforce because all the weight is at the back. So let's see if it helps. And this could be one of those things, you know, we may lose that 100th or 200th of a 10th performance on the straight line, but we regain them in the turns big time if the car is just a lot more stable like it looks at the minute, and also is turning better on the front. But, you know, we will see on the lap time. Let's let the lap time talk. For a brief moment I thought this turn could be flat out. My bad. Blanchimont should be indeed one of these corners that is easier now. This will be interesting here as well. I think the rear end now has possibility to have more balance on the rear end. Yes, indeed. I think there was going on some grounding when the suspension was compressed. But again, we're gonna let the lap time talk. So right now we're still picking up time. And now we're starting already losing it. This is due to the increased drag. We are a little bit slower out of Eau Rouge. And you see the increased drag is causing us losing performance on the straight. So we're just losing time, we keep losing time. Yeah, Puhun was one of these turns with improved rotation. So was the entry into the third sector. Despite track limits though, F. So we need to run the second lap as well, but you see, there's a potential for a 3/10 improvement. Also Blanchimont, higher cornering speed, despite we broke a little harder for not leaving the track. But if I didn't care about track limits there, for sure, this could have been way quicker. And then we enjoy an enhanced stability through bus stop, which overall means I do appreciate the way the setup currently feels. Eau Rouge is a lot more easy now to nail. It's a lot more forgiving if you're doing slightest mistakes and when to turn in and stuff. As I said though, you're gonna lose your 4 or 500th on the Camel Straight. Broke myself. So now we need to be able though to make up for that time due to the better cornering speed. But not if I keep outbraking myself. That is a difficult thing with this car. Let me quickly let the AI. Did the AI just crash it? Nice. Jonas, which part gets more stability between weight changes on the rear? That would be the anti-roll bar. If you throw the car from left and right, the anti-roll bar just makes the weight to transfer less quick from left and right. So the stiffer the anti-roll bar on the back, the more slow lateral weight will be transferred on this axis. There's a part we're probably gonna have a look at as well during this video. I should not be in 6th tier yet. Hey there, Lexar. What was the best GT3 car to start with? That would be the Corvette. Oh, Mitchie, for God's sake. Okay. We just keep in mind that we have 2/10 of improvement in the setup currently. So those are the anti-roll bars I was talking about. You got 7 grades of rigidity in the car. Currently we run quite a bit soft on the front and quite a bit hard on the rear. And the hard anti-roll bar especially could be an issue in the slow speed corner. So I take a click away from that, putting it into 5. Should give the rear end an overall more solid balance. I just keep the front at 3 because the initial turn-in and stuff just looks good enough. But what I'm also going to do is I increase the front bite a little bit on the camber. So letting the tires more look in this position to the ground. And then I'm gonna give it a go again. Things that we also need to look at is the current fuel consumption. So we have 3.38 liters on a full lap. I need to look again into the rules. I think it's a 25-minute sprint race, which would mean 12 laps. So we need to get the fuel consumption right in the end. First we need to keep digging a little bit on the lap time. I think in a really good lap, low 21s are possible with 50 liters on board. Gonna have a little bit of a look in our new fuel. So if you guys do appreciate that camera, please give this a feedback. Or if you would say, nah, keep that at the center top and put it above your head again. Whatever you guys are fine with, I'm gonna put it in. So 45 minutes left for me before I have another appointment. That is a cut track again. So let's see about the balance. Oh, that is alright. Despite there was a snap oversteer moment on the exit. That was due to my driving rather than due to the car setup. With a softer rear anti-roll bar, definitely enhanced the traction out of turns. I mean, there's no ABS, no traction control anyway. But still, with the rear end being more solid, of course, you can straight line the power. And see the rear wings now taking away a little bit more of speed from us. Probably it's more important how quickly you come out of Eau Rouge. Also very important in this Porsche car is to not turn in too much on the steering wheel when going into the turns. A smooth and small input is really enough, especially when you're on the brakes. Otherwise the car really wants to spin out quickly. For some odd reason I just cannot make the high rake work in the middle sector. Like here, that was a beautifully Puhon, or taking a 10th here. But to me it's not enough yet. I'm not sure if it's too borderline for the car like to oversteer. And therefore the enhanced turning momentum turns it into an issue. But you see there's a better exit out of this run up towards Blanchimont. Let's see if we can get Blanchimont right this time. Not running wide. At least not losing time. Bad exit. Just with a little bit too much entry speed.
The lap was a 2:21.68.
Hey there, Lucas Schwenk. Stavolo 2, what you mean there, Villa? You mean that's the corner? I'm always saying it's the entry into Sector 3, and that is, you know what? The rear end is just a bit too much to my liking, so gonna take 2 or 3 clicks down again. It's just nice. Overall, I think we could still stiffen the front anti-roll bar and soften the rear anti-roll bar, make them 4-4. And I think that we hit the track again. Next citation. No, I always have been on an OSW. It's just that I got a Fanatec rim as a replacement for Akira GP, but that base behind here is an OSW. Ah, okay, Stavolo 1 and 2. Yeah, okay, Stavolo 2 then. So, with this setting, we should have an even more gently car. Maybe it's even more lazy now due to the front end allowing less roll. Therefore the car can lean less on the left and right hand side with the tyres, loading up the tyres and granting grip, which can lead to more understeer. We will see that in our lap if we don't crash until there. To be honest, too much hesitation now going on in the car. Villa is interesting. I mean, I do not hate setup work, but at times it can get frustrating. Lots of stability now through Pujon. Not Pujon, through Rouge and Rodillion. Really lovely there. But I fear it's just too lazy in general now. Shooting corners like mad. You see, that is that little bit of hesitation that is now going on into Stavolo 2. We're gonna have a look at that on the Motec files if that's possible to see. Yeah, and the braking. I don't know why the braking has been so bad now.
The lap was a 2:22.19.
Yeah, it's an invalid lap, but just gonna take it for the records. Yeah, Villa, I do know, but I think it is down to driving a bit as well. It's not too much entry understeer, to be honest. It's a bit of entry oversteer at times. Especially when fully releasing the brake. Like the initial entry, and that is the issue. The initial entry is not understeery, but it turns into oversteer then too quickly, and I'm gonna reduce the camber a bit, because maybe with a rear end anti-roll bar being at 4 still, there's not enough roll in the car, really leaning on the tires. And driving, of course, is a huge thing. So it's not only about the setup indeed. I do appreciate the right height at 8.7. It just aerodynamically it feels better. We just now keep looking and improving the lap time. With we're already in the area of fine tune and fine balancing. Now it may be possible that you also need to run detached from anti-roll bar. We're gonna have a look in this into this as well. But remember, you also need to make the car being able to run over 12 or 13 consecutive laps. So detaching the front anti-roll bar can be a thing for qualifying, maybe. Villa, you know, sometimes it turns into oversteer and sometimes it just nicely sweeps out of the turn. Short shifting may help. Because when you fully release the throttle, the weight jumps all the way to the front, making the car rotate, and I think a little bit of throttle is beneficial to balance the car. Before really putting the foot down. Driving it too aggressively in general. But also the general setup, how it is now, suits my driving style a lot more. Remember, we have been fighting the car counter steer all the time in the beginning. It's all about getting the car as quickly as possible into a settled position, and then you can push it. Finally, the car also seems braking again. I think with that balance we should be able to get in PB. If not, sitting on the drain, exit turn 1. Or cutting Rodillo. Yep, Mats and Motorsport. I'm practicing for a competition. Yes, Will, I agree. Hence why I say you need minimum turn-in on the steering wheel, and just keep the car settled. We're 165 thousandths still missing. Get the car into a nice turn, but I'm too early on the throttle, freaking up the exit. Too aggressive. It's going to be the sprint race for the 3 hours Invitational on rFactor 2 this Friday. The second sprint race right up in front of 3 hours. Hey there, Laurie. That is true. That is what I need to tell my mind to do. The big problem for me right now is the transition, because maybe not 100% the Formula 1 cars, but they do have such high aero that it can push it quite hard out of the turns. But effectively, the Corvette GT3 car, you need to smash the throttle to rotate out of a corner and get maximum acceleration out. So it's a bit of different driving style required. I'm not 100% into it yet. Same with the LMP2, by the way. That comes close towards the driving style required for a GT3, so need to do a quick adaptation after this race. Too much of turning on oversteer. If you go too quick into the corner, you're just going to lose the rear end. Was a good run through a Rouge, just about right. Good way on the exit as well. Slightly too quick into Lecombe. too quick into no name, especially with the attached steering angle. Grinding on the limiter.
The lap was a 2:21.66.
Steering offset controls. Villa, what exactly you mean? It's a cut track regardless. But I'm getting there. I am getting there. I am getting there. So, I want to keep the steering. What I could do is change the wheel range lock to a click lower. I think the next one is 450. But originally, like, maybe a little bit more turning is still beneficial. Hence why I put anti-roll bar into 2. And I also put the toe in a little bit less aggressive to 0.5 roughly. And other than that, well, we can go up with the maximum brake pedal force a little bit to improve the initial braking. Because at the beginning you can really smash the brake hard, means there is still potential for the braking performance to be improved. And then we're gonna check up. As we got 20 minutes to go. Low 21 is the target, that's for sure. I agree, Laurie. Cold tires though. I need to keep that in mind. But just as you guys say, you need to be soft. You need to be very much control. It's a classic. I think perfect kind of school car for practicing smoothness into turns and in the driving. For learning how to balance the car with a brake, balance the car with a throttle. You know, all the technical things. What matters most as soon as you come to heavier cars. I say heavier, not slower. Because, you know, Formula 1 got so much downforce, it's just forgiving whether you can balance the car perfectly on the brake or not. Like, of course, it's always going to be beneficial if you can, But if you don't lose tons of times. If you're not perfect at it, like I'm in the GT3, you're losing tons of time to the best guys in the world. So now with a softer front anti-roll bar, the initial turn and the initial load up on the front is improved. Therefore, lots more initial front turn in. That will feature a bad rear though. So yeah, we will see how we master it. Also, the car can be a bit more itchy at slow speed turns now, but you know, if you kinda do know what to expect from the car, then you can handle it. So, Rouge is gonna be more difficult now, though. Yeah, overshot it. Not slowing down good enough. When you're too late on the brakes, you are too late on the brakes. Could only save that time from overdriving massively now. But you see, if the car just keeps steady in a controlled mini slide, I want to really call it a controlled mini slide, you can be so quick. If you just do it right, you can be so quick with it. That's almost too much. That definitely was too much. Oh, star below was lovely though. I see what you mean, Villa. Just makes the initial pitch not as violent. And thanks for the help on this one and your words. So the lap was an off-track lap, so it won't count. Oh, you see that? Saw that bouncing. Wow, what a nice exit out of turn 1. Header pullus. So let's also make use of the engine brake. Really try maximizing the way here into the comb, don't eye-brake yourself. Into rivage. Yeah, let the car rotate. Make use of the short shift. Easy through no name. And you can carry lots of speed down towards Pouhon. Same applies here, just don't let the car snap. Pick up the throttle in the right moment. A little bit of a slide will be beneficial to get the rotation for the exit of Pouhon, and then of course I nearly outbraked myself for the quick chicane. Yeah, losing 4/10 here. rFactor 2 got out of blip, so it's gonna be alright. Stay on the track. Noise. Heavy into the braking zone. Yeah, too late on the brakes a bit. But most importantly, the exit. 3/10 it is. 21.3 incoming.
That was a
Has still more potential.
2:21.34.
Have you seen how much I favored the exit out of this turn 1? Jesus Christ. This is still a valid lap though. Wow. I'm on a net massive flyer. Don't F it up, Mitchie. Don't F it up. Yeah, I was drift sliding it too much. It was a good one here so far still. That is the perfect slide angle you need for the exit of Fuhon. Like literally just perfect. Brake earlier. And then you can be on the inside curb here, giving you a nice entry into this one. Overly aggressive again, I want to call it. We can do better blanchiment, I assume. No, we can't. Even losing time here, but we can nail the bus stop. No, we can't. Well.
That was a
Guys, I think
2:21.24.
that's it for the moment. We can now have a look at the final data, and I'm gonna show you that probably on Attack the Track, because sorry, wrong picture, because there is some interesting stuff we're gonna do now towards the very end. It is actually one and the same file. Please don't give me a headache now. Please. What the hell? Shut down. No problems. I can shut. Issues. Oh, nice indeed. Artificial Motec or what? This is no biggie. Task manager. There you go. Nice. So, this view. Let me just quickly check. Yes, you can see. So we're looking between two laps, the 21.212 and the 21.34. We're gonna put up driver, and you see, I'm probably just gonna track editor, generate a track due to GPS. Thank you. Okay, that is a bit better. See what it does if we generate the track with the lateral G-forces. That is way better. So, you're definitely gonna see in the time difference We just want to specifically look at turn 1 up until Eau Rouge, which is about here. You will see in our slower lap that we've just where is inputs? Yeah, we also have a look at the input first. So in our quicker lap, that was the other one we just did, 2.38, or was it the abandoned one? Bear with me. No, we've stopped after the curb. So I'm gonna put up the variance time here, which you can activate by pressing F3. There you go. And I'm gonna put this also into our Attack the Track episode. So we are now looking from the start of the lap. I'm gonna reduce the speed into 0.1. What I did in this initial turn, and or in this initial turn 1, I broke lots harder to then really smash it early. So you can see this right here, the white curve. Just gonna improve the visibility. The white curve is what I did in the faster lap, or in the faster turn 1. So I broke a little later, like here I apply the brakes on the slower lap, which is 123 meters. Here I start decelerating, and I start braking at 125 meters into the lap, so 2 meters later on the faster lap. However, I kind of released the brakes a little earlier, so on the initial turn-in, right about, should be here, where is the steering? Yes, that is the moment where I twice turn into the steering. So on initial turn-in though, I start releasing the brake, sort of coasting towards the apex. But in the slower lane, I have to wait a little longer until hitting the throttle. So the colored one, the purple one, which the yellow thing is also following, is the faster lap. So you see, when going back to inputs, the colored lines are in the faster lap. What I did on the initial turn is I have been a little bit more aggressive, therefore putting the car, you see here, there is higher steering input. As you can see here, it's like 70% compared to 65%. And a lot more aggressively, like there you see the abbreviation, the amount of rate, that is the speed down here I'm applying to the steering, and that is the actual steering I'm applying. So you see there is a higher speed, therefore throwing the car in, getting it into a little drift slide, just a very tiny one. But you can see here on the colored lines that I can go on the throttle so much earlier. With earlier, I do mean 256 compared to 264, 8 meters earlier, or in lap time, 3 or 4 tenths earlier, being able to pick up the throttle and drift that slide out of the turn. With picking up the throttle more early, you also see the purple line here. I got higher speed. In this point, it's the maximum, so 65 kilometers per hour compared to 59. And this advantage, I'm carrying all the way down towards Eau Rouge. So you see, I'm scrapping off while braking on the purple line. I'm scrapping off a tenth or two, and not even a tenth. It's half a tenth, 0.05 variance. I'm even regaining that a little bit, and then on the initial turn-in though, and this is the point where I pick up the throttle, I take away 700th of my own of my own performance, or I'm taking off 700th of possibility and momentum, but I translate that into an upper hand of, like, you know, with a better exit. Here's where it crosses, and we have just started the exit. Here's where we are identical, but then I carry way more speed. 700th, 800th, and as soon as we come up towards Eau Rouge, we are exactly at 1/10th. So that is explaining about attacking the exit. You know, you can be quick on the entry of a turn, fine, but you also need to attack the exit, because especially when there is a long straight behind, the exit is what is going to be, or what is going to get you the time. So that is what racing is often all about. It's not about, you know, taking the turn in the quickest way. It's not about nailing the apex just to be quick from entry, apex, exit. You know what? It can be beneficial to take away 500th of possible lap time from entry, apex, exit if the addition of entry, apex, exit and the straight afterwards is faster than just looking at entry, apex, exit. Because, you know, I could also take this this turn super quick, and I'm gonna quickly go back because I need to run in a minute. I could also take this turn the way, turn 1 please, there you go. I could also take this turn like still faster, still a bit faster, then nailing the apex and like have the car pointing more into this direction, because you can see right here where you can see this perfectly where the lines go from the rubber. Here I'm like this away from the line. This is the gap. I am kind of missing the apex. Like a car would have gone past me inside here at this point, but at this stage right now, this is the point where I start gaining, because as you can see right here, I'm already throttling the car. Can you see this? Yes, no, you can't. FFS. No, you can't. But you can in a second, hopefully. Oops. Uh-oh, issues. Sorry. You can. Thank you. Yeah. That's when holding the button. You can see in... Not yet. Where is the cam? Yeah. I am already pressing down the throttle at this stage. And, you know, I could compare to the other car taking that white line and just until, if you put up a checkpoint here, FFS, if you put up a checkpoint right here, the other car would be much quicker. But from here on, I now start gaining over the other car, exit per exit. And that is what racing is all about. So sometimes it just needs to be a little bit, yeah, how shall I say this? We need to be a little bit slower in order to be faster. Sounds weird, but it's exactly the way it is. Anyway, guys, that's gonna taken us to the end, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed this setup stream, and I'm gonna name this MH10 Porsche Sprint race set, because that is most likely going to be the setup I'm going to drive with. And then we will see what comes out of that. There may be more streaming tonight with testing the LMP2 car around a specific track as well. Dave Arkron, thank you very much. I hope you guys will appreciate the video, giving it a like, and if you do appreciate setup guides in general, I would love to see you guys hitting up the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, make this community grow, and come back for more setup guides. I hope you have learned something. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you also have gotten a little bit of feel where you can see what you need to do in order to experience the full episode of setup work, and that, you know, a setup change may be good and may be a theoretical correct step, but pays out to be worse because, you know, additional rake, too much downforce, too much drag, too much loss of of top speed, and not enough gain in the corners. Could potentially be the case. So setup work is always difficult. Setup work is always special. And I hope you guys had a little bit of insight, had a little bit of detailed look into this, and take something away from it. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you back for more streams. See you there, and goodbye.